I still remember the sunlight streaming through the curtains that day. The light fell softly across my white dress. It was my wedding day. I was supposed to be the happiest person in the world. But then, the door opened, and in that narrow gap, my sister was standing there. My heart stopped. She didn't say a word. She just looked straight at me. And then, slowly, she spoke. Congratulations. That one word cut through my heart like a blade. If it were you, how would you have felt at that moment? My sister and I were once the closest sisters in the world. After our mother passed away, and our father left, we only had each other. She always told me, "You have to be happy." Those words became a promise that guided my life. But one day, that promise shattered. I met my husband, Sung Jun, 2 years ago. He was just an ordinary coworker. Honest, gentle, and warm. Back then, everything seemed perfect. Every evening on my way home, I would call my sister and tell her how happy I was. She would listen quietly and smile. "That's nice, Jisoo. You'll meet someone good soon too." "You think so?" "Of course. You'd recognize a good person right away." That laughter feels so distant now. As I began planning the wedding, my sister and I started drifting apart. Every time I asked her to come dress shopping, she said she was busy. Even on the day I signed the venue contract. "Sorry, I suddenly have a meeting at work." But I knew she wasn't in a meeting. In a photo she posted online, she was sitting in a cafe with someone. The man in that photo was my fiancé, Sung Jun. At first, I didn't believe it. I told myself that couldn't possibly be true. Just a coincidence, I said. That's how I tried to fool myself. But after that day, whenever my sister and I talked about Sung Jun, she started avoiding my eyes. And when Sung Jun looked at her, he would just give a small, nervous smile. Those glances, they were hiding something. If it were you, what would you have done? Would you have just trusted them? Or tried to find out the truth? In the end, I chose to find out. That night, I called my sister. "Hey, are you free tomorrow?" Why? Let's just grab a coffee." "Okay. See you tomorrow." I couldn't sleep that night. Their faces kept flashing through my mind. I hated myself for even thinking that way. The next day, we met at a cafe near my place. She arrived a little late. Her hair was down, and her lipstick darker than usual. I couldn't look away. "Been busy lately?" "Yeah, a bit." "That guy Sung Jun, right? He treats you well?" At that question, my heart dropped. She said his name, so naturally. "Yeah, he does." "That's good." She smiled. That smile felt so unfamiliar. A few days later, I looked at Sung Jun's phone. I never thought I'd do something like that. But that day, I just couldn't shake the anxiety. While he was in the shower, I unlocked his phone. There was a message from sister. My heart started pounding. My hands were shaking. The message said, "We need to talk about it today." That night, Sung Jun fell asleep beside me, as if nothing had happened. But I couldn't close my eyes. Those few words kept echoing in my mind. "We need to talk about it today." What were they talking about? With whom? The wedding preparations continued under that shadow of doubt. My sister still didn't show up. Said she was busy, as always. Then came the wedding day. And the door opened. She walked in, through the white curtains. Our eyes met. In hers were regret, jealousy, and love all tangled together. Congratulations. That one word. Then she turned around and walked out. At that moment, my mind went blank, and the man standing before me suddenly felt so far away. If it were you, would you have stood there frozen? Or gone after her? I just stood there. I couldn't move. The music, the applause, everything sounded distant, like echoes. A few days later, my sister disappeared. No calls, no messages, nothing. That's when I knew I had to find out the truth about the love I believed in. and the family I thought I knew. On the third day after she vanished, I couldn't eat or sleep. I kept opening and closing my phone screen, over and over. Then, a message arrived from an unknown number. If you want to know your sister's story, come to this address. My heart sank. No sender. Just a link. If it were you, would you have clicked it? I did. And a photo appeared. My sister and Sung Jun, standing together under an old streetlight, smiling at each other. The date was from when I first met Sung Jun. Then I understood why she avoided my wedding plans. Why she looked away when his name came up. She had loved him before I ever did. That night, I asked Sung Jun, "There's something you haven't told me, right?" He said nothing. That silence was an answer. "Since when were you with my sister?" "That was before you. A long time ago. Why didn't you tell me?" "Because it was over." "Over? Then why are you still in touch?" He said nothing again. That's when I started breaking down. Even in my dreams, I saw my sister, wearing my dress, standing where I should have been. Whenever I brought it up, Sung Jun would say, "Let's stop. It's all in the past." But my heart was still stuck there. Her last words, "Congratulations," wouldn't leave my mind. A few days later, my sister's friend contacted me. "She left you a letter." My hands trembled. On the envelope, it said, "To Jisoo." When I opened it, I saw her handwriting. "Jisoo, by the time you read this, I probably won't be by your side anymore. I did something I can never make right. I met Sung Jun before you did. Back then, he was my everything. But he chose you, and I couldn't destroy your happiness. So I left." The letter went on. "On your wedding day, I opened that door, not to congratulate you, but to see you one last time. My little sister, the one I could no longer protect. After that, I'll go far away. I won't call or write again. That's my last act of love." Tears poured down. I couldn't breathe. Her handwriting blurred before my eyes. Her love was trapped between jealousy and guilt. That night, I showed the letter to Sung Jun. He stayed silent for a long time, then said quietly, "Back then I didn't want to lose either of you." At those words, my heart broke completely. If it were you, could you forgive him? A man who called it love, but left both of us wounded? Tell me in the comments. I want to know what you'd think. Time passed. My sister never came back. But I still remember the sunlight through those curtains. Sometimes, when the wind blows, I hear her voice again. "You have to be happy." Those words now keep me alive. Even now, when I look at my wedding photos, I remember her eyes as she opened that door. And I know it was love, just love that came too late. To you, listening to this story, I want to ask, when families' love and romantic love collide, which would you choose? And have you ever, like my sister, let someone go for love? If there's someone you still can't forgive, just for today, whisper their name in your heart. Someone out there might find the strength to live again. From that one small act. That day, the one who opened the door was my sister, and that door still quietly opens and closes inside my heart. Thank you for listening till the end. If this story stayed with you, leave a like or a comment with your thoughts. Because sometimes, a single sentence from you can change someone's tomorrow.